Hello, this is Scotty. Look, I was going to do this video earlier in the long cruise setup, so I couldn't. And now I'm just in the middle of everything, so this is going to be real quick. Grab a chunk of the internet, make yourself comfortable as possible, get a little drink, because this isn't going to be very long. Even when I tend to get sidetracked. I don't have the time for it today, and I haven't eaten yet. My blood sugar's okay, but it's starting to go way down, so I'm going to have to. Got some pizza heating up in the oven. Alrighty. Spent most of the morning redoing my entire wiring system. Ron pulled my huge desk out. I tried to help him. I can usually handle the light end of it, the left L shape, but I can't do anything with the heavy part that's back here. And even Ron had to put his 250 pounds, and I could see his calf muscles clenching. He's got huge calves. And his shoulders bunching as he yanked that thing slowly and easily out because all my two computers are on top of it and a whole bunch of other stuff. So anyway, he knocked the backing off for me, and I was able to run my wires in a much better situation, including this little microphone setup thingy I have here now. So, what is this video about after an hour, good God, after a minute and 30 seconds of talking? The video is about something I saw yesterday on the Daily Show. They made a little skit. They wanted it to be funny, but it wasn't. At least not to me, because I've been around long enough to be aware of the Michigan militia and all those other little groups that get together and play cowboys and Indians or whatever with themselves with real guns, and they think they're so militarily proficient. They are a crack ace unit. They are the SWAT team. Well, all of these people who think that they, with their little collection of 6 guns or 17 guns or however many they have, individually or as a collective, are not going to overthrow a tyrannical government. They are not going to rise up and take their government back. And I'm going to tell you why. I was in 2 branches of this country's military. I was in the Navy and I was in the Army. And little stuff like that, that's never going to take the country down. Look, the bombings and the snipers and everything else in these Middle East countries that we've been involved in didn't take their country down. It took our whole entire military to take a country down. Do you think that if you start, I don't even know where you would start to try to defend yourself from your government, but if they try to arrest you and you refuse and you hold up in a barn or something, that's just going to go bad for you. That's a police action. That's not even the military. They're not even calling the military in. The FBI or the local police or whatever. Look at those people in Montana. What happened to them? They were given a lot more latitude than I think excuse me, they should have been. They were clearly breaking the law. They were threatening people verbally, and that if they came on to the property, they would shoot them and that. Every time this has happened, it has gone bad for the people inside hold up. Now, in a couple cases in our country, the lone individual has sneaked off into the woods, and he's lasted 6 months, 8 months, a year even. I think there was one just a decade ago that did some bombing of something. I think it was an abortion clinic or something. I'm not really sure. He spent about a year in hiding in and out of the woods. The locals were helping him. That's the only way he survived. He was a woodsman and all that, but when he came out, he was reduced down to eating out of trash cans and dumpsters. And he looked like crap. Now, say you and your little militia guys, all 22 of you, who some of you haven't been off the couch for very long, are going to go up against an army unit. You'll never get close enough to pop them off. If the government really did turn and the military supported them, they just take you out. Drone strike, long distance armament strike. They can send stuff now to attack people they can't even see over the horizon. You know, take a couple of tanks and just shoot the shells where you're standing. Your little AK-47 or your semi-automatic AR-15 that you've modified is not going to stand up to that. Okay? So, you can't take this government down that way. You can't do it militarily, and you cannot do it with violence. It just simply won't work. The way you change a system like ours is from the inside. You do work within the system. You change it. Yes, protest all you want. That's part of the system. Protest. Go out and raise your voice. But don't break any laws. Because then you ruin your own argument. If you really want to change the government, start voting locally. And get involved. Get signs out. Get knocking on doors. Let people know how you stand. Don't just, oh God, I don't want to say anything to my neighbor or to the guys I work with because they all think, I think they all think a little differently than me, and I've got to live with these people. Then you don't really want to change anything. Change didn't start for the gay community while they were busy hiding in the closet. It took the individuals who came out of the closet, who stood there next to the people who hated them and said, Joe, I've been your neighbor for 15 years. We've had fun. We've had barbecues and everything. Your family come over. I come over to your house all the time. By the way, I'm gay. I'm one of those people you've just been insulting. I'm one of those people you insult, make jokes of every day we work together. So, are you my friend or are you not my friend? Who changed here? I didn't change. You know, it was when gay people started coming out to their families, when they started telling people, I'm your doctor, I'm your lawyer, I'm the waitress or the waiter that waits on you. People said, wait a minute. I know those other people are bad, but these people I know, they're my friends. They can't be bad. And the light bulbs came on. So, to change this country, get involved. Vote. Get your people who believe in what you believe, because that's what they did. They got the people who believed like them onto local government boards, from there on to state boards, into state offices. From there, it was a hop, skip, and jump to federal. That's how they worked against us. That's how Mitch McConnell was able to hold off a legitimate nomination from a president. Because he knew the country it would be outraged, but we won't do anything. We won't vote them out. Because just like hold one. Sorry about that. My breakfast lunch was in the big convection oven we have, and the timer was going off, and it was just had to be stopped. And the oven had to be shut down. And just warming up some of yesterday's pizza that I really enjoyed, by the way. So what I was saying was, it's just like down in Alabama right now. I can't stand it that I've heard Republican people argue for Roy Moore, knowing everything he's done, what he's been accused of, the women who have stood up with verifiable evidence. But the people who support him do it because he's got an R by his name. They do not care. He's even running on Christian values. My God. Is molesting kids a Christian value? If you're a Christian, how can you stand that? I would be screaming my lungs out. But he's got an R, so they're going to vote for him. That is the tribalism. That is the world we're in today. So you as a Democrat, what are we doing? We stand up for the higher goals, the higher morality in that. Even though we don't claim those titles, we've got to start. What are we doing? We're kicking people out of Congress at a time when we need every vote we can get. We're asking them to resign because of the allegations against them. Our people admitted, apologized, and asked for investigations on themselves. or from the leadership against them. The Republicans say, we don't care. It's an ideologue problem. He shares the same Republican whatever it is, because I surely can't figure it out myself, that we are. No, it's not family best. So you want to fight within the system. You want to take back the truth. Next time when some Republican candidate says, I stand for family values, say, no, you don't. You just put in a child molester in there. Next time they say, well, we stick up for anti-abortion. We don't like those little fetuses being taken out and terminated. Well, guess what? What do you do when the child is born? Do you give them medical care? That's gone. Do you give them care as they're growing up? Trying to get rid of universal health care or Obamacare or whatever. You're fighting all of that. What about food? You're going to help feed this child? You don't care. You're cutting school lunches. There are true things happening that we can respond to them to. We can insist, throw it in their face. And every time one of them says, but I have Christian values, or I have Republican, I'm the moral high ground, throw it at them. Make them prove it, because they're not. But that's how you change the system. You don't change the system by running around in the woods with your little guns thinking, gee, you know what, if those soldiers come over that ridge, I got them. Because they're not going to come over the ridge that way. When they come over the ridge, they'll be coming in force. They'll be coming with machines. They'll be coming with armament that can blow craters the size of a mobile home. If the military's coming for you, the military is going to get you. Ask Saddam Hussein. All right, I'm going to go eat. This got a little longer than I wanted, and I got hot. I went a little off topic, but it's basically what I was talking about. Changing the government. You got to work within. You got to work within the system. Get out there, progressives. Vote. Talk. Don't let people intimidate. And if it loses you some friends, stop and think. Were they really your friend to begin with? Do you still want them as a friend? How much are you willing to give up to tolerate them? Because they're not willing to give up anything to tolerate you. Alrighty, that's been my spiel for today. I'll put it all together later. I'm going to get something to eat now. My sugar is crashing. I thank you. This has been my first try with my new microphone, and hopefully I'll be able to do these couple each week, maybe more, maybe less, depending on how people like them. This has been Scotty from Scotty's Toy Box. Lots of hugs.